Hello, subscribers, and welcome to Recommendation Fridays numero 2. I hope I said that right in French. I don't dire. I dire? I too. I too hope I said that correct. I was trying to make a don't and no mixed pun of dire, which I guess is a nice enough segue to explain. If any of you are curious, why story GERD? GERD is easy. It's a pun on the internet. Oh my GERD. And it's also a combination of words from geek and nerd. Because I adore stories. I love stories. I think stories change the world, and I think they're the dopest things ever. Being Recommendations Friday, ooh, I got some little treats for ya. Ooh. In case you can't figure out the theme, I'll tell you, but you should be able to figure it out by the end. Movie that I think you should definitely watch, Dear Zachary. I think Dear Zachary is this fantastic, really touching, really personal documentary. It's streaming right now on Netflix, and it's been streaming for a while. And I think you could buy a DVD somewhere. I'm not too sure about that, but I know Netflix definitely does have it. It's this documentary about this guy who, his best friend dies, and he basically tracks down all these people that knew his best friend, and from when he knew him to college and later on when they didn't lose touch but weren't talking as much. He meets all of them and he pieces together his best friend's life and these anecdotes about him, because his best friend had a son after he died. The son was born right after his father died, and he wants to give this movie, this documentary, to Zachary, so it's called Dear Zachary. That's not the whole documentary. Halfway through the whole thing changes, or maybe 3/4 in, the whole thing becomes a totally different movie. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a very, very, very sad, very touching, very good movie. I recommend everyone should watch it. It's fantastic. In terms of books, this is it's not as subtly sad. Dear Zachary is very sad, and it's not the subtlest thing, because it's not a subtle thing to be sad about death, but this is a way more potent, constant barrage of sadness. Excuse my cough. I have Ebola. Push by Sapphire. I know they made a movie already. I haven't seen the movie. I will one day, hopefully soon, for this channel. But the book is really short. It's really good, and it gets you. It gets you really hard. Out of nowhere, it just hits you. All these little things that you just don't think about start piling up, and by the end of the book, you feel that weight of that character. You root, and then it just hurts. It's a really great book. Along that same note of a more aggressive, non-stop barrage of sadness, this is a darker shade of blue. I would say Cage's Depart From Me album. Depart From Me is an amazing album. It's very aggressive, very hip-hop, very crunchy, grungy, sick, dirty, but sad. It's really full of pain and anger and anguish. And I think if you're in that kind of mood where you just want to say fuck the world and fucking kick rocks, go fuck yourselves, this is a great album for that. A lighter shade of blue, but still very blue, but not as aggressive, is Blankets by Craig Thompson. I think that's such an amazing... I read this comic 1 or 2 months ago, if that, and it's made such an amazing impact. Because it's so personal, it's so touching, it's so... It gets at you. It's really honest. It opens up a lot. In the beginning, it's not necessarily sad outright. It's kind of like quirky a little bit, and you can sense the sadness, but as things go on, it's such an amazing comic. It blends this great art with this fantastic writing and storytelling, and it's paced so well. It's this story of this guy who has these super religious parents. He's kind of an outcast, and how he copes with his life growing up with his brother in relative poverty. They're not the poorest people on the planet, but they don't have much, and he knows that. And he grows up in this time where he's a deep outcast, and he's trying to find connection with these other outcasts. And he kind of does, and he kind of doesn't. And that's all I can really say about that. There's a lot more that makes it a lot sad. a lot sadder, but still it's a really light shade of blue. And I was trying to have, there's a couple of really sad games, but I think to cleanse your palate of the sadness, because it has a lot of sad notes, but it's really just funny. More often than not, I think of it as a funny game, but it could be considered sad. Depends on what you want to say. Thomas Was Alone. And I know there are a couple people that played it already. If you haven't played it, you definitely should. Use Thomas Was Alone as if you went through everything I just listed. Use it as a palate cleanser. Because you jump into it and it's funny. It still resonates with some hints of like sadness and very, very much loneliness, and you attach yourself to this character who's basically just a square. You get attached to these characters, but you laugh a lot through that, and it just helps you even out from this really sad, depressing trip. And I think that's it for Recommendation Fridays number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the list. I'm gonna try and keep everything thematic for the next couple weeks. If I get enough subscribers and if you guys ask for it, I'll focus on one thing each Recommendation Friday and go into length about that. But for today, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you share this. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. Hope you brag to your friends about this awesome dude you found that's just putting you onto all this dope shit. Some of which is known, some of which is not. Fucking do that shit. So you should so do that shit. And well, that's what you should fucking do, man. That's what you should fucking do. Also, be on the lookout. I'm gonna be making a YouTube trailer sometime soon to basically talk about what I believe in and what I stand for and what I really want this channel to be all about. I know I made an introduction video, but that was just a palate, like a wetting my palate type of thing, dipping my water into just get a taste for YouTube. This is really for you guys. This is really to just get you guys to understand who I am, and if someone's unsure, they can always refer to this, or you can share my channel and page and everything through that video. And that'll be all, guys. See you later.